Right now, 36 states and the District of Columbia have the freedom to marry who they want, and come February 9th, Alabama residents may have the same right. Back now to some breaking news we told you about earlier today, as the man suspected in the deaths of 5 people is arrested. Local American Idol alum Philip Phillips is spending Mardi Gras in Orlando, Florida this year. He goes by Kingfish, and in a town often plagued by violence, this Mid-South talent is turning that pain into a positive. Fox 54's Annie Hubble sat down with Mayor Fuller this afternoon. She joins us live from our East Alabama newsroom with an overview of how the city is progressing. All right, Derek, what do you think about those shoes? Everybody's been talking about them. So
I like them.
Do you really?
I like them. And look, you guys can see what I've got on. Just a regular old pair of regular shoes here. So no camouflage and no heels here in the weather department.
Well, you need to get with the program and get some camouflage shoes.
I do.
One legendary rock group calls it quits, and betting begins on the outcome of this year's Oscars. Topping our news tonight, guilty of felony murder. That's the verdict the Lee County jury reached a little more than an hour ago in the murder trial of 26-year-old Ramiro Del Real Contreras. One of the country's biggest corporations is getting even bigger. As promised, the sun is back.
I know. You know, if the sun didn't come out today, I think I was going to have to go hide somewhere.
You would have, because you promised.
I know. We've been promising all week. We delivered on this Friday. Really nice weather out there today. Yeah.
Disgraced cyclist Lance Armstrong gave his first TV interview since admitting more than 2 years ago to doping during his 7 Tour de France wins. And finally tonight, a cat is recovering after being buried alive by his owner, who mistakenly thought he was dead. Officials say Bart was found lifeless earlier this month after being hit by a car in Tampa, Florida. Well, the owner soon buried him, but the cat managed to escape and was found by the owner's neighbor. Bart was taken to the Humane Society of Tampa Bay for surgery. He is expected to go home next week. Talk about Night of the Living Dead.
And you watch that show, don't
I do.
you?
That's creepy.
That's creepy. And his name is Bart.
His name is Bart. So I guess he just clawed his way out of the grave?
I don't want to think about
that. That is so creepy.
Simone?
Well, it was certainly a chaotic scene that scared everyone inside that home, as you can imagine. But what the suspects didn't count on was the homeowner shooting first and asking questions later. Investigators say one of the suspects who entered that home was carrying a gun. Once their presence was known by those inside the home, the owner started firing, shooting one of the suspects several times. The injured suspect, along with his partner in crime, ran down the street to a relative's home, where he later collapsed.
He had shot, and all he was saying was he didn't know what happened. He wasn't doing nothing.
The injured suspect is Antonio Bell. He is in the hospital in critical condition and has not yet been charged. Police say Tyree Hoagland, you see here, another suspect, tried to blend in with the frantic family but was spotted hiding something suspicious under the couch. That's when Bell's uncle told police Hoagland was inside his house. When police arrived at that home, they discovered a gun under the sofa and took Hoagland into custody. At last check, 2 of the suspects in that home invasion are still on the loose, according to police. The suspect in police custody, Tyree Hoagland, has been charged with home invasion in the 1st degree, criminal attempt, and a long list of other charges. If you know anything about this crime, police would like to hear from you. A simple ride down a Columbus street changed one local family's life forever. Lillian Powell was on her way to her son's house when she noticed emergency vehicles speeding past her.
I had a little funny feeling. I'm like, I hope ain't nothing happened.
But something did happen on Celia Drive on the evening of December 10th, 2008. Something Lillian Powell felt in her gut involved her 36-year-old son.
I asked one detective, I said, is anybody hurt? And he was like, yeah, somebody hurt you real bad.
Turns out that feeling Lillian had was right. Her son, Isaac Powell, had been shot and killed by an unknown suspect or suspects that entered his home and attempted to rob him. This is footage shot the day Powell was murdered.
It hurts in a way, you know, to know that somebody just gunned a person down like that, you know, for no reason at all.
This is horrible. It's horrible.
Powell's sister, who did not want to be identified, spoke to us about that tragic night her brother was gunned down.
For someone to come into his home and just kill him like that.
Isaac Powell left behind 5 children. Some of them to this day still can't believe their father is gone.
My grandkid be like, Grandma, my dad is not coming back, and I'm like, no, baby.
When they took his life, it's like I died that day. So I've been angry, sad, I've even been mad. But I just pray for that day to just come, because that'll be a little peace, you know, to know that someone is paying for taking my brother's life.
That day Powell's sister is talking about is the day someone will finally come forward with information that could lead to an arrest in this case and bring some peace to this family.
It's hurt. I can't sit. I can't hardly eat sometimes, and it's just really hard on me and the rest of my family and his kids and my grandkids.
Officer Deborah Whitley with the Columbus Police Department says investigators have never stopped working this case and will continue looking for leads until an arrest is made. But she stresses the need for the community's help.
Something that you may not think is important may be exactly what we're needing to close that case.
If anybody know anything about what happened that night, would they please come forward and call Crime Stopper?
In Columbus, Simone Doughton, WTVM News Leader 9. Opelika Mayor Gary Fuller addressed the crowd earlier today in his State of the City address. Fox 54's Annie Hubble sat down with Mayor Fuller this afternoon. She joins us live from our East Alabama newsroom with an overview of how the city is progressing. Annie.
Well, good evening, Simone.
Even with the Super Bowl coming up, the issue of domestic violence still plagues the NFL. Georgia ranks number 9 in the nation for domestic violence homicides. The No More campaign is showing the world how a victim of domestic violence can reach out for help in an unconventional way. Fox 54's Tasha Reed has more.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
In lighter NFL-related news, restaurants across America are preparing for a busy day Sunday during the Super Bowl. Residents hosting Super Bowl parties and restaurants across the Valley area are getting ready for the most watched event on television all year long. And besides just watching the big game, people will be eating all kinds of snacks and junk food like pizza and wings. The National Chicken Council expects Americans to eat more than 1 billion wings Sunday.
As soon as the order comes in, we're just going to be frying up those wings as fast as we can.
Well, the National Chicken Council also says 75% of the wings eaten on Super Bowl Sunday come from restaurants, and the other 25% will come from grocery stores. A week-long resource fair to help partner agencies with the homeless in Columbus concludes for the year. Numerous vendors and agencies came together to link the homeless with the right tools to better their lives. Those who need help in the community were able to visit Open Door Community House today for a one-stop shop full of resources.
We want them to know there's help and hope out in the community.
By the way, this is the 10th year New Horizons has sponsored the event with Open Door. Police in a Georgia county are trying to figure out why a man ended up dead during a Craigslist transaction, the second such incident in the state this week. It happened in DeKalb County, just east of Atlanta, earlier today. Police say the buyer and seller met up and the buyer ended up dead. Police say the shooter called 911 and waited for officers to show up. Investigators are working to verify the shooter's story. Earlier this week in South Georgia, a couple was found dead, believed to be killed during a Craigslist meeting gone bad. An Auburn University senior in public relations is literally putting his money where his mouth is in an effort to raise awareness about a subject many Americans may find a bit unappetizing. Fox 54's Elizabeth White takes us to the student's kitchen to show us what he's cooking and why.
This challenge is sort of to help me overcome my cultural barrier and to also hopefully inspire other people to overcome theirs.
Wow. Coming up on Fox 54 News at 7, day 2 of the Aaron Hernandez trial has wrapped up. Plus, an infamous rapper is in major legal trouble again. We'll tell you who it is. And finally tonight, it's a problem that many towns would love to have, but now a cute scene has become quite the nuisance for people in Fargo, North Dakota. Hundreds of jackrabbits, some as big as small dogs, have taken over a park and neighborhood. People say the animals have destroyed shrubs and are leaving their droppings everywhere. Fargo police say they're unable to do anything since the animals are wild. So I guess it's safe to say Fargo is full of jackrabbit poop.
Probably.
What a slogan! Come to Fargo, home of the jackrabbit poop.
Oh, no.